Whew. Wow. Decompose.
Breathe.
Breathe. Yes. And it's over.
It
Andy
is over.
Nichols,
Yeah.
Tom Hunyadi, Two Legs, and the craziness that is the Fest for Beatles Fans is officially over. We're both home, and we're both just trying to sort out what in our minds of what just happened. And Andy, fourth one in a row in the New York, New Jersey area.
Yeah.
With you, my friend. And you know what? All kidding aside, I'm being serious with you. I mean, each one just, for me personally, is getting better. Each one is getting better and better and better. I don't care who the guests are,
Right.
special guests, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Hanging out with you, MVP, Kyle Hand, the Two Leg Scruffs. I mean, it's
More from them later.
Yes, the community, the Two Legs community, is fantastic.
It was really the culmination,
Right.
and then the beginning of our community and support and
Yes.
fan base, and we owe a lot of that to our friend Kyle Hand on the Run
Yes.
for organizing that and doing it, and we're gonna have our Two Legs our Two Leg Scruffs. I like that name, Tom. A little later on in our recap, so we're gonna it'll be Tom and I for a little bit, and then we're gonna bring on some of them. Not everybody can join it, but the couple of people will join our recap. And I echo your sentiments, brother. We went in 2022, first one out of COVID. We didn't
Right.
stay there. I think you did one or two panels. I don't even think I did any.
No, not yet. But I knew you were itching for it. I could see it in your eyes when I was up there doing the panels. It's just like you were like, I got to get up there.
Right, and we've done that now. You've done your collectors thing. I've worked my way into historian panels over the year, and other great panels, multi-generational panels, academic panels over the year. Although not this year, which is fine, but it's good. They have been growing over the years. 2022, 2023, 2024, TWA, and now this one. And I really think you're right. This is really our best fest as a Two Legs podcast. You felt it there. We were giving shirts out to everybody. People knew our show. They knew our brand. They knew what we do. They knew what we do. They enjoy our content. And that, to your point, like the guests, who cares about the guests? Like the guests don't matter. They really don't. And I know Joe Mayo has said this on his channel. He doesn't go for that either. He goes to connect with his fan base. And we really did that in these 3 days, partner. And kudos to you for making the trek over here from Michigan. I know it was a lot of driving for you. This one was a little easier for me in the MVP. It's only 40 minutes, a 40-minute drive. But I'm glad that you made it, and we got to experience what we got to experience for 3 or 4 days.
Right. Yeah. And exactly. And just to mimic what you just said. I mean, every year, I really do get emotional when I see people just wear a Two Legs shirt. It makes me feel good, and people like the show. I just say, when back in 2016, I just didn't think it would get to this, and I'm so proud of what you and I have been able to accomplish show-wise and, building the brand-wise as well. So it's been a fantastic journey with you, my friend, and we're just going to keep going.
We're not stopping. And we've got a chance to go to these things, and thanks to Susan Ryan, who schedules the panels and puts us on a couple of them, which is really kind. I had a nice chat with Mark Lapidus today on the way out, and I actually saw him. I was the first person he saw on Wednesday when Heidi and I got there, and he says to me, "You're a little early, aren't you?" And I said, "Well, listen, if you're not early, you're late." I said to him, and he cracked up. And then I saw him today backing up the elevator, and he said, "You have a good time?" I said, "Yeah." And I said, "Thanks for another good fest," and shook his hand. So he knows who we are. Thank you to Susan for coordinating the panels and getting us on there to do that too, and then to have another room just for podcasters. And I know that there's people there were some logistical issues this year with overlapping stuff. It's beyond her control, and that's fine. And then we'll get into the whole weekend properly, and we have a lot to go over in this recap, but we're going to be brief about it. We're going to talk about it for about a half hour or so, and then we're going to bring our two legs Scruffs on to get their take on it. But what was your? I mean, Tom, you had the drive to get there, so I mean, you had to drive the 9 hours. You hadn't done that before. I mean, talk about. I mean, it was a lot for you to plan to get here and then coordinate what you were going to do. I mean, I know you at Fest. You get to Fest, and I love you. But you're like a chicken without your head on when you get there.
Tom, let's go.
Tom,
let's go.
Were we gonna go? Where'd Tom go? Where'd Tom go? He's gone. He's like writing down something. I'm like, where the fuck did you go? What are you doing?
It's the adrenaline. As soon as I get there, man, the adrenaline is on high, and it just doesn't stop until Sunday night, or Monday morning, however long I'm there for.
I see that.
And I was telling because Saturday morning, Adrian was joking with all of us. He's like, you guys kicked my ass. I was just telling him, it's just like, look, when I'm here and I'm with friends, I mean, it's just go time. The adrenaline's going, and I'm just having a lot of fun. So yeah, got up, 4 o'clock in the morning, took off at 5. Yeah, got up at 5.
Listen to me
got
good.
Got there at 2:30, and and you know what? I mean, I wanted to do that because I never drove to that side of the country. So I did a lot of driving on the West Coast, but I wanted to do some driving on the East Coast. Right. So, driving through Ohio, and I gotta tell you, I still get pissed off because, growing up in Michigan, we have a thing called freeway. You know why it's called freeway?
Because you don't have to pay.
Because it's free.
Not here. Not here. You drive down the block, you got to pay.
Right. So, that's kind of annoying, but whatever. It is what it is. But it's what's well worth it. So, but yeah, getting there and then getting checked in, which was a fun story. But I'll say that for another
you got
time.
there. You got there.
Yeah. But
You got there. Now, listen, we was able to chill for a little bit. Really, Friday, nothing was really cooking on Friday. Here's the book that you got to have the book when you're at the Fest all weekend. I swear, people live by. Everybody walks around. Our friend Janet Davis, who's a doll, she always goes by the schedule and everything, and you have to. Friday was pretty light. We got to see. We actually had gotten there a day before, and we had made up with Adrian and Alan in New York. Just to see with them, and we had gone up just for a couple of drinks in the city, just to see them ahead of time before the fest even started, because Adrian got there Wednesday. So, and then they were tired. They actually went to go see a screening of 1 to 1 on Thursday morning, which they saw, and they both liked it. Heidi and I met with them after we had gone to dinner, and then met up with them Thursday night after dinner in the city, and saw them. They stayed, and then they came to the fest on Friday. We went back there. And Friday was really, really chill. I mean, nothing was really much going on. The first night is, meet the authors and all that stuff, and Adrian and Alan were on that as well. And Friday, Friday was more like we had gotten there, and our deal is like we're on Friday. Thursday, Tom got there. You got there Thursday. The vendors were setting up, so we had a little early access. Let's go see what we can go see and get the first crack at what we want to get from the vendors, because once the weekend started, and we certainly did, and we're going to go over all that too. So that was really what we did on Thursday and Friday, was scour it, see what we want to get, and then move on. So
I would say, Jonathan, he opened the Apple, jam
Jonathan
stage.
Petrus from and we'll get to that too, because he ranking the Beatles, which we'll get to it right now. He supported us all weekend. He came to our panel with Adrian and Alan of Venus to Mars, and he gave us this fantastic poster. Of ranking the Beatles. Actually, you can go in and rank each song. So I told him I'd rank it.
Fantastic idea.
Love this. So did you get one?
Yeah, I got one. Yeah,
rank one.
It's in the car still.
So he says rank them and then send a picture back to him. So he kicked it off on the Apple Jam on Friday. But then on Saturday, our friend James Liverani opened up the Apple Jam. And he was the first guy at 12 o'clock to kick it off. And he did a really great set list of all solo stuff. I think he did play something, but then we only were able to see about 20 minutes of it because our first panel was at 12:30. But James did a kick-ass version of Too Much Rain.
Too Much Rain he did, which was fantastic, but that wasn't the opener. I'm forgetting what the opener was.
The Harris. Cheer Down. Was it Cheer Down?
Cheer Down, yeah.
Cheer Down he played, which was great. His set list is on the channel. We'll post a link to it here to take a look at Mr. Liverani and his mom. Dawn and his father, Tom, who we both met later over the weekend. Wonderful people. James Liverani, I mean, that's just class with a capital C and talent. And we wanted to make sure that we supported him and saw him first.
Yes.
And then we had to duck out on Saturday and get down for our first panel, Tom and I together, and that was the collectors panel. And there we are, which was at 12:30 on Saturday. There's Alan, and there's Jen Hooper, there's Terry Crane, myself, Joe Mayo, my partner, and Darren DeViva, who moderated it. And as you can see, Tom brought his Letting Go International collection, and I brought the suitcase, which still remains unsold. I did not sell it.
You didn't sell it? Darn it!
Nobody
to ask you about that.
Nobody came through with it. So Ed Crawford was the closest one, but it remains for sale, an incomplete Egypt station. So that was a really. Go ahead. Yeah, Boyan. Now it's for you now. Right after that, a couple hours, about an hour and a half later, was the historians panel, and that was with Susan and Jim Ryan, myself, and Janet Davis. But we had a great discussion recapping 2024. And Janet Davis, kudos to her, she prepared a nice little list of everything that was 2024. Movies, books, releases,
right.
everything.
Releases, yep. Physical media.
And events, too, passings. Janet is a librarian, and she dots every I and she crosses every T. So she really came up with a nice list about that. Really nice discussion in the main paperback writer room, going over the year that was 2024, our individual favorite releases of 2024, and the like. And I know, partner, you were in there for that one, too.
Yep. No, that was fantastic. I mean, all of those releases in 2024 I don't think there was really a bad one in the batch. I mean, you could say maybe the Beatles 64 doc wasn't the greatest thing, that we've seen, but everything that was released physically, I had no problem with. I mean, the EPs, right? The box sets and the reissues.
No.
All good stuff.
All good stuff. Saturday night.
We had 7 p.m.,
that was it. Well, that was it, and that was great. And we'll get to this later in the recap. We're just going to go through the whole weekend ourselves. And Saturday night, thanks to Kyle Hand, he was like, look, why don't we just have a little two legs meetup and meet up with everybody who we talk to on our Discord, who support us on Patreon. And they came.
Yes.
They came from far and wide. James Martinez came from Texas. Lulu came from Middletown, my hometown. Right. Lulu. Luann. Not Linda. Sorry, no, she forgives me. It was great, Kyle and Phoebe, and then we met Russ. We met Russ. Right. Russ Beatles 63. Right. Guy is awesome. Awesome guy.
He just brought so much stuff, paying it forward. He says, "Look, I don't want this stuff anymore." Andy, he gave you a really cool piece that he was hanging on his wall, and he knew that you were such a fan of London Town. And then he gave you that.
Come out of the panel discussion room on Saturday, and he flags me down. Andy, Russ Beatles 63. And I'm like, I saw you. What an old school, passionate guy. He goes, shows me this because he knows I like London Town. Has this framed vintage Corvettes trade ad from I think the date was on here. But I mean, he was raving about the price. Look, $438, Andy, it's $438 at Corvettes, and he framed it, and he had a great line. He goes, 2-cent frame, $100 poster. I said, okay, Russ.
Andy Nichols, awesome dude right here. My name is Russ Beatles 63. And Andy, what do you think of this at the Fest For Beatles?
Beatle Fest. Russ, this is awesome. Vintage London Town from 1978. Right here.
First day.
First day he got it framed. Man, this is so nice.
$2 frame, sorry, but $100 page easily.
Oh, dude.
For you.
Thank you.
No, for you. You of all people would appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. And you're here, and we're going to jam later.
Yes, we are. We're going to play. I brought my guitar. And Tone, we are going to have fun later. We wish you were here. Beatly Tone, maybe I got to make it to Chicago.
He's coming to Chicago.
That's what he said.
He's coming to Chicago.
So
I love it.
We got to do it. All right, we'll be seeing you later. Thanks, Heidi.
All right.
And that was right at the panel. But then that Saturday night, he goes to we're hanging out in the lobby.
Right.
We found a great table. You found a great table to hang. And we went there. Nobody else was there. We're all hanging out there. And then he goes, let me go to my car. Guy goes to his car with a box, comes back with a box of books. And he's like, look, he goes, I've had these forever. He goes, I don't need them anymore. And he's like, I'm all about passing it on. and passing it on and paying it forward to the Kyles and everybody like that, and who don't have. We've had these things 3 times over, and he's like, I don't need it anymore. So we took a couple of things. One of the best ones I grabbed, and Russ, thank you for donating this stuff to us, was Wilfred Meller's Twilight of the Gods, which came from this, which came out in the early 70s. One of the first real true academic takes on the Beatles music, and I've wanted to read it for a long, long time, and I never got a copy of it, and he had it there, and he's like, take it. What did you grab, partner?
So I grab, The Man Who Gave the Beatles Away.
Sure,
So,
Alan Williams.
Paperback, paperback. We got the Cellar Full of Noise.
Oh, there you go.
There. We got this little the Complete Beatles quiz book. So I was, listen, there was something that Heidi grabbed that I was thinking about it, but I was like, no, I had it, but I was really happy that Heidi got it because she had said the reason why she wanted it, and I was really happy that she had it. I had plenty of years myself enjoying that book, and I hope she has plenty of years enjoying that book.
She says I'm a lyrics girl, so she was really happy to grab that book. It looks like an early copy of that book too.
Right. Well,
it
all
does.
These books that he had, they were all first printings. These are all first printings. Everything.
Yeah. So I got a book he gave me, The Beatles Down Under, their 1964 tour. One that I was really happy to grab that he got me, which was a Mersey Beat, The Beginnings of the Beatles, which came out I think in the early '80s. Obviously, Bill Harry from Mersey Beat put that together. And another one I wasn't really familiar with called Do You Want to Know a Secret?
Yeah,
which is
I haven't seen that one before.
Making Sense of the Beatles' Unreleased Recordings, which I'm not sure the year on that one, but again, all vintage stuff that he just was like, look, take it, and that was so nice of him. And then later that night, Mr. Lakeworth Pirates, a.k.a. James Martinez, gives us a great gift, both of which we're wearing right now.
He gave us two very nice of James. Thank you very much. But I'm wearing one, and then Annie's wearing the other. He gave us both. He gave us the 2 shirts, both of us. And thank you.
Awesome. I mean, Paul Lollapalooza, nice picture there. Tom's got on.
Yep,
2015, and like a full album art T-shirt of like Tug of War, which is so comfy and I mean perfect for the podcast. James, thank you, man. I just got my voice back too, and it sounds like it's starting to go again. But we hung out till about 8:30, 8:45, right? We didn't hang out too late, right?
No,
in the lobby.
Then Joan finally got there. I think it was about 9:30ish.
Yeah, Joan, who came in off of vacation, and she's like, "I'll be there Saturday night." She wasn't there for the entourage. She forgot her 2-leg shirt. We had one for her. Sadly, we didn't get her in the picture. Yeah, Joan got there late, and she forgot her 2-leg shirt. But she had a great time, and then we hung out a little bit, and then we kind of just went back and forth between the lobby and the main stage, right? And then we ended up seeing a little bit of that late night panel, which was that John Lennon Sinner or Saint for a little bit, and we hung out with Jeremy Porteralla, of course, the Fest legend that he is, and Jeremy, Astro Jer. I hope you're back in Chicago. I hope you enjoyed your nice drink. That is a Fest specialty for you as well. Also, another gift, and I did not get this young woman's name. She gave it to us after the panel. I don't know if you were there. Sarah made for us customized 2 legs Christmas ornaments. Wonderful Christmas time.
I did meet her after our 2 legs panel up at the Apple Jam. She waved me down. And gave her a big hug, thanked her, and that was very thoughtful, very nice of her to do that. Mm-hmm. Thank you. So thank you again.
Thank you with Manchester 2024, and it's so nice. Thank you. It'll go on my tree next year. Sunday, the big day for us, the 2 legs panel day, which is really what our focus was. We wanted to have a good time the whole weekend doing collectors panels, but this was our chance to do a 2 legs live show, which we've done just about every fest except 2022. I don't think we did a 2-leg show in 22.
We didn't do it. No, we did. 23 was our first one.
Right, and we were so excited to have Alan Cozen and Adrian Sinclair agree to do a Venus and Mars retrospective at 50. It was very appropriate given that the album just dropped again, the half-speed stuff, all the Venus and Mars merch. It's what everybody was really listening to. And I want to give you a lot of credit. You came up with the idea to deck out the room and really kind of doll it up in Venus and Mars stuff to give it the look. You brought your poster, which you had framed already. Which
Poster.
I brought the Frisbee, which you got me in 2022. Couple copies of the album. Adrian Sinclair
Right.
brought the actual book.
Kyle, he just had this great idea, just get a vase and a couple of yellow and red flowers, and then Venus and Venus and Mars.
That was a really nice touch to do that, and it was in
Yes.
the Tell Me What You See room, which is a small room, but it was packed. I think there was a good
Yeah.
30 people in there, 30, 40 people, and we were so happy to do that. A couple of questions, engineer stuff, memories of the sessions, and then we did a really cool thing with them where we asked them to rate each track out of a scale of 5. And Adrian was kind of like pretty much 5 on for every track in the album.
Five.
Alan was a little more critical and was like, 3.5. I think he rated 3.5 on Medicine Jar, I think.
Listen
to what the man said.
Yes.
So we had.
Which I think everybody was kind of like, what?
We had an hour discussion, which is going to be our next episode on Two Legs, which will be dropping this weekend. That's episode 277, live at the Fest. And I want to thank Kyle and the MVP for making sure the laptop recorded it well,
Yes.
and the sound was okay. A lot of great feedback from our friends, people that went to the Fest and said it was one of the best panels of the weekend, and we are so touched by that.
Yes.
I mean, we do some planning to do this thing. It takes some logistics to do this.
We put our effort into this show.
And thankfully to the Fest organizers who gave us the spot to do that. It's something that we're going to keep doing, and hopefully more people come to it, because we really have a good time taking these topics and doing a real deep dive into the nitty gritty of a Paul album with who better to do it with than Adrian
Exactly.
and Alan, who are traveling to go to a fest. So let's give them the time to talk about it. And I can tell you this, that after talking to Adrian later on, he said the two best things he did all weekend was our show and things we said today. I mean, I'm just so proud we were able to do that. As long as Alan and Adrian keep going, and we now know Volume 3 is on the way,
Yes.
we're going to keep doing this, assuming that they both can
Because
travel and make it to the fest.
Yes, that's right, because they did announce that Volume 3 has the green light, and they've been working on it already. So,
Already?
Yeah.
Already.
But they got the green light from their publisher. They published the last 2 books, so it's going to stay with this publishing company. They could have shopped it around if they didn't want to. But I'm really happy that they're sticking with the same publishing company. They gave them the green light. 3, hopefully a couple more years, and we'll have a new book.
And they were only given the green light this weekend while Adrian
right.
was over here. They found out while they
right.
were here that they got the green light. So
Right.
congratulations, and we can have great stuff coming down the pike in a couple of years' time.
And before we get to the merch, one other thing, 45 minutes after our show, they got on the main stage, Adrian and Alan, and they did a great presentation just about all things McCartney Legacy, which was a good little hour. I think it was an hour presentation, right? Or 45
No, not
minutes.
even 45 minutes, and that was moderated by Wally. I felt that it was in our best interest to support
Yes.
Adrian Sinclair and Alan Kozin, because
They
we are
supported us. They supported us for years, and we had to return the favor. I think you're absolutely right, my friend.
Thank you. And I want to give another special thank you to, just before we get to what we got, Joe Mayo, who the
Yes.
first minute I saw Joe Mayo, I think on Thursday, maybe it was Thursday night or maybe early Friday. Joe, and he's done this in the past too. He gave me a Driving Rain pin one time, or magnet, which is on my fridge. He gave us these programs and from the Ocean's Kingdom ballet
Right.
and show back in 2010. He didn't have to do that. So I want to say thank you, Joe. These are nice collectible things to have. Do I know Ocean's Kingdom inside and out? No, it's actually the one orchestral thing I have not listened to yet. So
I think it's a fantastic piece. But thank you, Joe, because he gave us both the copies of those. What Andy was just holding in his hand. There you go.
a special shout out. So ran into him a couple times over the weekend too. Was Mike Narr, the
Yes.
freelance camera operator who worked the show, who you had on your live show. He's like, oh, I got stuff from the show. I got merch to give
Right.
you, and I'm like, Mike, you don't have to. And wow, he's gonna give us swag from the SNL
Swag,
50th
yeah.
show.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you so much. It was so great hanging with you. He popped in. He's like another little Woody Woodpecker. He's always bouncing around the
Yeah.
fest. He's popping in rooms. He's going here. He's going there. He's going there. Great guy. A lot of energy. And thank you very much, Mike Narr, for that. So the reason why a lot of us go to the fest, other than to participate and socialize and be on panels, is the merch. Hey, we didn't have to push each other out of the way this time. For nothing.
No, not at all.
For nothing.
Listen, both of us are at the point now to where, you know, we're I wouldn't say winding down, but we're at the point where most of the stuff they have at the fest we've already have. So it's like we're finding things, but you know, it's just. Anyways, you know what I mean.
No, yeah, unless there's that high ticket item that you know you want to get, you get it. But I think over the last couple of years, we've been able to snag it all. And you spotted this first thing first, and I think you might have wanted it had it been complete, because you are a collector that everything has to be pristine. My standards are a little bit lower. I'll take something not complete unless I get screwed on it, like I did. Hint, hint, wink, wink.
Right.
So you saw this, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, what's this? And it was there. And this was the potato sack version of Electric Arguments, the tin can pizza box version, which you spotted. And I was like, oh, are you going to grab that? And I think you would have had it been complete.
I would have, if it had the potato, if it was inside the potato sack, which it comes in, then yeah, I would have grabbed it. But I'm glad you did.
You know, this cost a pretty penny. And now the first thing I loved about it is that when you look inside of it, Paul's got all these notes on it, and it says, this is not a pizza. Because you hold the damn thing, and it might as well be a pizza. So it's a heavy thing, this thing. But it's the album, it's a book, it's a couple of CDs, and this. I mean, Joan got this as well too. You know, maybe I'll make my own burlap sack to put it in. It's in pretty good shape, and when I looked at it online, it was fetching for a lot more online than what this vendor at the fest. And I want to give him a shout out too. We talked to him all weekend. I've got his card right here, okay? Yeah. It's Beatle Memories, okay? It's Ray. If you go to BeatleMemories.com, he's got a website with all this stuff too.
No. We don't want other people to know what he's got. We want to get. No, I'm just kidding.
Ray, there's a plug for you. I know none of these vendors watch our show, but because they're like, who are you? They don't know. It's fine. Yeah. But Ray, we've bought from Ray for a while, and he always has good stuff. That was one of my first early scores of the weekend. Tom.
Yeah, as soon as I saw Ray, you know, Friday or Thursday, you know, and then Friday morning, I was helping him out, helping him set up a little bit, and he just like, look, I got this thing. If you're interested, it's a frisbee, and I kind of like my interest peaked, you know, because I have the Red Rose Speedway frisbee, and I had that Venus and Mars frisbee. So he popped it in, and he goes, he's never seen this before. So what this is it's a frisbee for Wink 104. He said this was out of California. It's a promotional piece, Paul McCartney, Off the Ground. So and the price wasn't too bad, and I thought, okay, this will look good with the other frisbees, and why not?
Gotta hang them up. Gotta hang them up, partner.
Yeah, exactly. I'll get to that. You know, I'll get to that. But again, and I always say Off the Ground's not my particular favorite album, but you know what? As a collector, you know.
Yet you have an in-store display stand back. Yet you have an in-store display behind you that you cover his head up sometimes for.
Right.
That's good.
So that was one thing, but if you want to go back and forth, we can do that.
Sure. So the other thing I got, which is the newest addition to the home office here, the home studio, if you see it above my head, okay, and I know that Joe had one of these too, and Ray, aforementioned dealer, had one. I spotted it Thursday. I wanted to see, and he had two of them. And that's the Paul McCartney Tug of War pop-up in-store display, which is now right above my head here in the home studio. Really good shape. You know, it was a little beat up in spots, but there was two, and this one was more. This one was in better shape.
Yeah, you're not going to find. I mean, listen. I mean, that thing is over 40 years old. You know, so those you're not going to find in pristine shape that much anymore. You know.
No.
So I'm glad you got it, because that was your first display piece. So it looks great back there, and hopefully you find more.
And the other thing is too, if you do find one that's in pristine shape, it's going to be $200 or $300. That was not $200 or $300. So it's a little ripped and cornered.
Good deal.
He really, when he told me the price, I was like, huh? Here you go. Right. Done. Yeah. Sold. Vinyl. Go.
Yeah. Well, one more thing before the vinyl. So another
Aight.
thing he showed me, which was I did not know this. I was kind of blown away about this. 2015, Tug of War Pipes of Peace come out from the archive collection. Okay, he whips this thing out. Okay, this is
yeah.
Paul McCartney, Tug of War Pipes of Peace, Jigsaw, right?
Jigsaw
Okay.
puzzles.
Yes, and it says 2015 MPL Communications. Okay, so it's a promo piece, right? So open that sucker up, and what it is, they're puzzle magnets. So I don't know if you can see the pieces.
I can.
But it's a magnet. Yeah, it's a magnet of Tug of War and Pipes of Peace. There you go. Again,
Great
another
album.
puzzle. Yeah. Okay. But again, I mean, this is the kind of thing that you just can't pass up when you see it. You know, you never seen anything like these before. So,
No.
Hello, yes, money, mine, goodbye, thank you, right?
You sound like me now.
Yeah, yeah.
So they're magnets, Tom, too? They're
Yes,
so
they're
you can hang
magnets.
it up. They're
Yes,
magnets, too.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
So I think you get to the point now, and you can see like where we are. Like I know certainly for my case, we've collected vinyl forever, right? We
Right.
can't get any more vinyl than we think. I mean, we're getting, and we're going to show you like we're filling in the gaps of certain things
Right.
now. Certainly,
But
I
the
have.
gaps are getting smaller.
Right. The boxes that I've gotten the last few months, the colored vinyl, which I'm going to show you in a couple minutes. But now you get to the point where Tom and I are at. You get these little collector memorabilia pieces like a Frisbee or magnets like Tom got. And these are the things you get to, like
display piece.
display piece like that. Like we're at that point now where that's where we don't need any more vinyl. We're going to get things to complement our collection. Not that we're crazy memorabilia things, but when things like that are pretty rare. That's a nice piece, brother.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Very nice
Yeah.
piece. Vinyl time. So my man,
Yes.
straight out of New York, Richie. I think he's from the Bronx.
Richie!
He's at every New York fest. He doesn't go to Chicago. Damn it, I wish he would and Richie and Ray both don't go to Chicago because they're New York guys and they don't go to Chicago. And I think you can
both of
tell.
them.
Right.
Both of them just get fantastic stuff every year.
Every year. And I think you
Richie had the 333rd edition, of McCartney 3.
Which
and
we
it
saw.
Did sell.
It sold
did
because I didn't
sell.
see it Sunday when we went back up there. I
Right.
think he wanted $1,500 for it. I don't know if he
Right.
got it, but because just a side note, a couple guys bought a couple butcher covers this weekend too.
Right.
So some people were spending some money
A
up
lot
there.
of money. A lot of money was getting thrown around this weekend.
So even in its limited state, right, of like 3 or 4 really good quality vendors, those two guys always bring the goods. I can always find something that I don't have in my collection when I see Ray or Richie's stuff.
Right.
So Richie has a good stock of vinyl. The colored vinyl of McCartney stuff is something I'm still catching up on, filling the gaps. So I grabbed the Wings Over America colored. And Tom grabbed Wings
Right.
Over America, but he didn't get the archive
archive.
issue.
Because I completely spaced out and didn't realize that I didn't have the archive edition of Wings Over America. So he had it, and I grabbed it.
Right. So this is a beauty. This side, I'm not going to show you all 3 colors, but it's red, green, and blue, I believe. Really nice. And good at a fair price, too. These were not triple figures. These records
No.
did not cost triple figures to
No.
get at all. And these were sealed. Yes, and
Yeah.
records are meant to be played, Tony, Beatley, Tone.
Yes.
Yes, they're meant to be played as well.
However, I've already got 3 copies of this open. Should I open them? Should I open this one? Yeah, I probably will.
You probably will. So next one I got there from my man Richie was the gift. Oh, Tom got one too. The gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah,
Not
and
McCartney
this one I'll
3.
open so I can show the color vinyl on
Right.
this one.
So we both got a copy of Egypt Station. This is the Barnes and Noble exclusive, and this is the red vinyl. So both discs in this set.
Both
also,
ones are red. Yes.
Also red. Trying to pull it out here. Come on to me. Yeah, Egypt Station red vinyl. Both of them red. Which show this again? Didn't have to break the bank to get it. So I think this is like, I don't know, fifth or sixth copy of each. Because I just got last week. You watched. I got the Spotify. Now I've got the red. What do you have there?
Okay, so apparently this is red and blue. So
That's the red and
we're
blue.
gonna-
But
Yeah,
who
this is
sold
red
that?
and blue.
Who sold
Richie
that
as
one?
well. Richie
No.
had this one as
where
well.
where was it available? Who
I
had
gotta
it?
do the research. I gotta do the research on that one, my friend.
Okay, so that's a gatefold.
But this is It's the triple. It's the triple gate.
Oh, it's the trifold thing,
Yeah,
right?
trifold. Yes. So, just let me open
One of them.
And,
Check it out.
And this is. Oh no, I'm sorry. No, it's the orange. He mislabeled it. This is orange and blue. This is the sherbet, and the camera's not doing it any justice because
No,
this
I can
is a
see it.
fantastic
I
orange.
see it.
This is a fantastic orange. But I mean, from the way I see it on the camera and the way I see it in actual, right in front of me, it's a different color. This is a beautiful orange, and it's just I don't think it's reflecting there. So cool. So this is exactly for one of the ones that I was planning on getting anyways. So
Speaking of orange, Wings at the Speed of Sound, the colored series of the Wings stuff, not as dark orange as the one Tom just held up. This is more of kind of like a see-through orange. Speed of
Right.
Sound, this had been on my radar for quite a while too. I've got a couple more of these to go to complete that. Oh, there you got the blue. There you go.
yeah, so it's orange and blue. Yes.
Of Egypt Station.
Yep.
What else
Very
you
good.
got?
I'm very happy. Very happy. Well, I did pick up a German pressing of Back to the Egg. All I had was the Columbia issued print, but now here's a German one. Again, it was reasonable price, $20. I thought it was a no-brainer. So I do want to give another shout out to Joe because during the collectors panel, we did a little little show.
Yes,
we
yes.
put on a little show.
The sweetest little show?
The sweetest little show, and he had this, which I'll go through more Wednesday when I'm live. But he had the Paul McCartney All the Best 45 promotional, not for sale, which Andy has shown last year, was it, or a year and a half ago or so?
No, last summer.
Very happy to have this in my collection, and Joe, thank you. I really appreciate it. I owe you one.
Last couple. My man Ray had a 12-inch copy of Birthday, which I had on the 7-inch, but I didn't have it on 12. $15.
Excellent.
And then a 12-inch thing of course, a Pretty Little Head, which was
Right.
15. And that was it. That was it, man. For the merch, we wrapped all that stuff. We did our we were done with panels we were done at 2:00 on Sunday. At that point, so it was smooth sailing at that point. And then we just chilled. We chilled, and then you had to depart because you had to do the 9-hour drive. So you headed out about 5:00 on Sunday. You had that long drive ahead of you, and then really that's me, the MVP, Joan Borelli, and Adrian Sinclair, and Alan Cozen hung out in the lobby eating pizza, shooting the shit, hanging out, chatted with Adrian a little bit, and then went to bed. And then he had gone in, and then we went and really just ended the night hanging out with the Fest Mafia, which is Bob Gannon and Jeremy Porteralla, Astro Jared, till about and PJ as well. PJ, peace and love. Sorry, we'll get you the right shirt. He had a killer wing shirt on, though. It was a red wing shirt that he had on. Hung out with them for a little bit, and then that was it. And we came home today. So, yeah, always a lot to cram in those couple of days. Leaves your head spinning.
It
And
goes
it's not
by so quick.
Yeah, I got to talk, Saturday night. We got to go to the staff party and got to talk to Tom Frangione for a
That's right.
good half hour talking about some good stuff about Ringo and Stop and Smell the Roses, and he supports our show, and always lovely to chat there with Mr. Frangione, talking serious, talking Beatles, because he has the intel. So it was nice to get up there and see everybody, and then the Saturday night was a late night. Saturday night was a late night.
Saturday night was a long day. It was a long day.
Sunday we were struggling, but we made it, and it's another fest under our belt, brother, and I'm glad that I was able to do it with you and do a great panel with two great authors who wrote these books, and thank you. So, yeah, looking forward. Listen, Chicago, roll on, brother, and that's our recap. So now we're going to cut to the two-legs Scruffs and everybody who has joined us. So we're going to cut to them. That's the end for me and Tom, and we'll see you soon. Okay, well, we're laughing because we're with the Two Legs fam. And as we continue our recap of the 2025 New Jersey Fest, we are joined here by some friends of the show that are part of our Discord community that joined and traveled to the Fest on Saturday at the Hyatt. And we are joined here by James Martinez, Lulu, also known as the lovely Linda, ha 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 ha, Ryan, and the MVP. And Ryan, I mean, you joined us very late, but you're here, and welcome.
Thank you. Yes, it was fantastic meeting all of you.
Thank you. And it was fantastic that we all were able to communicate and just, that you were able to travel and get there and just hang out with us and then go to the panels and then hang out on Saturday night with all of us just shooting the shit, just us two legs, fam, and we didn't have to worry about a concert or who was on the stage, swapping stories, learning things. I mean, and then like that guy Russ who gave books away. I mean, that was incredible. Luann, you got some books. James, did you take any books from him too?
I didn't get any. Most of them I've had already, but I wanted the other people to be able to grab some if they wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, that guy was just so nice. I mean, I know the MVP grabbed a book. Tom and I grabbed some books. I know Luann. Luann, what book did you grab?
And you gotta unmute yourself too, Luann. Lulu.
I have The Beatles Forever by
Nicholas Schaefer.
Yes.
Yeah, Nicholas Schaffner. Ryan, I don't think you didn't join us till a little later on Saturday night. I think is when you ran into Heidi. But you talked to Heidi you were there on Friday night at the fest, right?
Yes, yeah, I met Heidi on Friday with my mom, and then I ran into you guys again later on Saturday.
Rocking the Bowery shirt both nights proudly.
Right.
I love that. Who cares? Wear that thing proudly. You were there, baby.
It's a conversation starter.
It was, and that's exactly what happened, right, Ryan? Like, I was literally walking past you and just, we made eye contact. I saw your shirt. I said, were you there? And you said, yep. What night? 3.
Yep.
2. And there we went. Like, friends forever after that. Just initial, like, were you there? What night? Now friends.
Yeah.
I love it. What a connection.
I'm glad you did that, Heidi, because, correct me if I'm wrong, but there are bootleg shirts out there, right?
Is there?
Of the concert?
There are. There are.
Yeah.
There's bootleg shirts. There's bootleg posters. They're out there.
Right.
There are.
There's nothing fake about Ryan. He's got pictures in the
And I'm
front
not saying,
row.
Right, and I'm not saying there is, but I'm just.
Yeah.
It's just cool that there was more at the fest other than you
Yeah.
and you, Andy, and a couple other
And
people
Joan.
that were there.
Joan.
Right, but-
yes, Joan.
It was because we were like, okay, Bowery shirt. Like we were packing. We were like, let's bring the Bowery shirt. And then we saw other Bowery shirts. So we're like, you were there.
Yes.
Talk
Yes.
now.
Yeah.
Share that experience.
Yes, everybody's got their own story, and everybody wants to hear their own stories. There's a great pick.
Now the guy next to Ryan wasn't there, but he was there in spirit on night 1 and made it really happen to get Paul on 2 legs for the first time. And there's Kyle Hand and his fiancee Phoebe, and Ryan in the middle rocking his Bowery shirt, and me and the MVP. I mean, this is what it's all about, everybody. This is it. Just finding common things and running with it. That's what it is.
Yeah,
So
that
much
was
fun.
a blast.
That's how I
That was
found
a total
Heidi.
blast.
She had her Bowery shirt on.
Is that how you found her, Luann?
Yes. She came and sat next to me, and she was like, Heidi, MVP? And we've never met. And you said, I'm Lulu, which is your handle for Sunday Lives. And you're like, Luann, but Lulu, again, friends forever.
Awesome.
When did you get there, Lulu? When did you get in?
I got there around, I guess it was around 12:15 on Saturday.
On Friday or on
No,
Saturday?
I was just there for Saturday. Remember,
Okay.
I was supposed to be in Detroit at Billy Joel,
That's right, Billy
Oh.
Joel. Right, yeah.
but it turned out to be more fun.
Everything
I love it.
happens for a
Love it.
reason.
And
Exactly.
you stayed all day. You got there at 12:15. Were you there for the collectors panel, James and Luann?
Yeah,
I was,
definitely.
yes.
Yeah, I was there. I think I even asked a question or two.
Yeah, and I still haven't sold the fucker yet, but
Yeah, I was the one that took the pictures because
You-
Heidi was filming.
right.
Yes, thank you. I was filming with the iPad for an hour and my arms were burning. And I whisper over to Luann and I'm like, could you do me a favor? I usually take pics. She's like, I got it.
Yeah.
No offense to Tom, but it's not my favorite, or Andy, it's not my favorite album. I was talking to Tom. I don't even own. That's the one album I've never owned or CD.
Unbelievable. All right, now James Martinez, we got to clarify something. When you left, we were talking about Somewhere in England on CD, and then you were like, "So you found it, or you didn't? You got a copy of it?"
I wound up getting a copy on Discogs. You kind of led me in that direction, and then I purchased it for $20.
Okay,
Nice.
so I think you were messaging me like, "Oh, if I bought it, you'll Venmo me," but you got it, so we're good.
I have
I
it
was
now,
I
yeah.
was confused too. I'm like, Andy, I think we owe James money, and he was like, no, I think he's saying he got it.
Right.
Good.
That's exactly
got
right.
it.
Now,
We're
James,
good.
we're good. So James is originally a New York native, but he lives in Texas now, and he flew back to the Fest to go to the Fest, but also to visit family. And I mean, you were able to. You went to the Fest and you visited family. You visited your brother. You shared a video of him playing, which on guitar, which you know he's a musician, and you want to try to get him at the Fest and next year and play. And I mean, you traveled a great deal to come and meet people that you just know on YouTube.
Yeah, it's something I really enjoy doing, and I really wanted. I spent time with Tom last time, and this time I got a chance to talk more with you, Andy, and then with Kyle. I mean, basically, I shared my whole life fandom about McCartney and the Beatles with Kyle. That was like a 45-minute conversation, so it was a blast. I had a total blast the entire weekend.
James, when you say last time, do you mean Chicago or TWA?
It was the year before. The year before that. Tom,
23.
It was like 3 years ago, right?
23, yeah, 23.
Okay.
James and I hung out quite a bit. Yep.
Yeah.
Good. It was so much fun meeting you, James.
Same here, everybody. Lulu and,
I know,
and
all
Ryan
of
were so
us.
a little bit.
I mean, that picture that we took with all the two legs, there we go, that one.
So
how amazing. What a family we're growing.
We'll tell you everybody in this picture, okay? So there's Luann, there's me, the MVP. Behind the MVP is Ryan, the bartender at the Hyatt, who took the shirt. He's like, I'll wear one. Great guy.
Right.
Tom, there's James. Next to James is Ted. Behind Ted is Ed Crawford, a.k.a. Mr. Broadstreet. Next to him is Russ Beatles 63, the guy who had all the books and gave me the London Town poster, and Kyle and Phoebe. So, I mean, the only person missing from this is Joan Borelli, who was on her way there. But she's in the fam. She is. And we missed her, but we caught up with her later that night. Also, later that same night, we got to see the Liverani family. And not in this photo is their mom, Dawn. And James kicked off the Apple Jam with his set, and his first generation fan dad, Tom Liverani, old school, authentic, real people. I don't know if you guys had a chance to talk to them, did you?
Yeah, I definitely did. They were fantastic. I congratulated James on his set because he also picked up, not the normal songs that you normally hear. So he's picking some really good songs.
Isolation. The one cover he did of Isolation was knockout. Fantastic.
Yeah. And the high notes he hits is incredible.
Yeah. Right. Now, we got somebody backstage to add to the family.
Ooh, and who's coming?
He's wearing, I can already see it, he's wearing the new shirt that is already being shipped. Oh, I can see it. And let's welcome on Mr. Ted. Ted's wearing the new Letting Go shirt. Hello, Ted. Welcome.
Yeah, a little bit of trouble there with the downloading browsers and all these other things I didn't know you have to do. So,
all right, what shirt are you wearing, Ted? Show.
This is the new Wings shirt.
Oh, nice! You got the long sleeve.
All right, I'm sold.
You bought it already. You bought it already.
I didn't.
Dude, there's like less than 10 left. You better get cracking.
I'm gonna get cracking. But real quick before we get to Ted, let me tell you, when I saw Ryan with that two-leg shirt working behind the bar, smile on my face all day long. It was really a cool moment to see him working and having the two-leg shirt on all day.
You're right, Tom.
So how many drinks did you get, Tom?
None.
None. But Tom, you're right. He was kind of gravitating toward our crew, and then Two Legs gave him a free shirt, and he said, "I'll rock it tomorrow." And we're like, "Whatever." And then he did.
Yes.
Cool. Like there was hundreds of people in that lobby, and he's serving drinks with a Two Legs shirt on. It was terrific.
And
he was a cool guy. He was a cool guy.
He was.
And he took the picture with us too. So
yes.
Oh. All right, that was lightning, and it was fucking loud. Wow, close to my house. Holy shit, my house just shook. All right, so Luann and Ted, you guys don't have storms down by you yet?
Not yet.
No, not yet. It's supposed to start any minute.
Oh my God, the house just freaking shook. Jesus Christ.
So if I go off, you know why.
Yeah.
Right. So
No,
did you just get that in the mail today, Ted?
No, I got it yesterday. It wasn't supposed to get mailed till this coming Friday, April
Right.
4th.
April 4th was the
Exactly.
shipping. Yes.
And then it got shipped Friday, and it came Sunday in 2 days. I don't understand. Most things
Fantastic.
take a week.
Most things
Fantastic.
do. There was only 300 of those shirts, and I cannot believe they did not go in seconds. I really can't.
I don't think people got notifications on those. I only knew it because you guys were talking about it that morning.
Right.
And I think it only went out in the email to people in the in the club
Then
thing.
the
or
fun
something.
club.
In
Yeah.
the fun
Yeah.
club. Yeah.
So
Did anybody grab those shirts? Luann, James, Ryan? Did anybody grab them? No.
Nope.
No, what I did, I think I told you guys, I finally broke down and got the Venus and Mars LP after I got a birthday gift. So I picked that up. So I have it in the kitchen. I haven't opened it up. I have not opened it up yet, but that's what I spent my money on.
Yeah, you did say you just got an Amazon gift card, and that's what you bought with it. So belated happy birthday.
Indeed. Ted, you're in New Jersey. I mean, you just came up to the fest for just the 1 day, 2 days. You just came up for Saturday.
No, I was there Sunday too. Remember? Yeah.
Saturday, and Sunday. But you drove. You didn't stay there.
No, I didn't stay. Yeah, I should have stayed. I should have stayed overnight after experiencing it because I haven't gone in about 7 years. Just before COVID, I went.
Right.
And there was a lot of stuff to cover, and it's hard to get it all in. It's impossible to actually get a lot of it in because you had the music going on upstairs, which I missed a lot of. Those mystery girls were really great, but I didn't see that whole thing. Then all your conversations with the
panels, the panels.
The panels. So there is, and then you want to buy things. So you really, I could have spent 4 hours in there really.
I
just
know
going through that stuff.
Collectively over the whole weekend, I think we did. But next time, Ted, staying over.
I am. I'm going to book the hotel room the day it comes out. And
Yeah,
whatever.
same. I tried to book a room, and by the time I found out Billy Joel was canceled and all that,
It was too late.
It was too late.
You couldn't, but you couldn't even. Did you try the Overflow Hotel, Luann?
I didn't. No.
The Marriott had rooms. I did have a room. I was so unsure. I had it, and then I canceled it. I should have kept it.
Yeah.
And speaking of
Go ahead,
panels,
Tom.
I just want to give a shout out to our new star MVP for being on her first panel. I was really excited about her and Joan getting up there, and it was great. I'm so happy
Tom.
for you.
Joan and I had a really great time, and I'm really glad I got to sit next to Andy and Joan because first time, 100th time, different experiences, but like it didn't matter because it's a connection. And I was nervous. I can't tell you how nervous I was. And once I sat up there, the nerves went away. I just talked about my experience.
Yeah.
That was so much fun.
You seemed like a natural.
Aw, thank you, Ted.
Yeah, it was a quick one for us because we had to do that panel and then shoot over to Two Legs, which I know that we had to just do that for 2 minutes. I felt bad leaving, but like we had that was. I mean, our panel was the one we prepared for, and that was our moment. That was our hour to have our Two Leg spotlight, and it was a small. Go ahead, Ted.
They got to get rid of. I mean, that Indian exhibit that from India, the David Schultzman, I think his name is.
Yeah, Saltzman.
He's got that whole room, and he's got a nice exhibit, but he doesn't deserve that whole big room. And they should have took your stuff in the conference and put you in there, I think, and him in your room. I mean, that was just because
I agree. The Venus and Mars.
That was
deserved a much bigger room. It was like standing room only.
People were
it was
walking
terrible.
out. People were
because there was
out.
no room.
Right.
Those guys you guys with him is a great combination. You're having such a wonderful conversation with him, but people come and go. It's like we just close the doors and keep it quiet.
And that was the name that we wanted to keep it quiet. We probably, as we learned, we could have stayed in that room and talked a little while longer because there was nothing in there till 3 o'clock. Adrian had to go. They both had to go because they had to be on the main stage at 2:45. But we could have actually stayed a few minutes longer and chatted, and we probably could have too.
I blame myself because Andy and Tom, you were asking me to check the book I told you something was booked at 2, not realizing they covered that earlier.
Yeah.
I felt bad.
It was a great panel. I think the best one we've done, really. I think so far. And I told this to Tom.
100%
I told
the
this to
best
Tom
one.
before we brought you guys on. Adrian told me later that night. He says that the best things we did all weekend was your show and the things we said today panel. That's what he said.
I didn't see the complete main stage conversation with them on Sunday at 2:30 or so with that gentleman, and I just did not really
With
take
Wally,
to him.
yeah.
I didn't really take to him. You guys should have been on the main stage.
Oh, we all agree with you, Ted.
Check is in the mail, Ted. Check is in the mail.
Hey,
I mean, that was just ridiculous. I mean, really. You could've had
Dollars.
People, the whole room would have been happier if you just took over the main
Oh,
stage.
Ted, preach.
Hey, I'm gonna have to write an email.
They got to do some self-analysis on some of these things they do there, and say, come on, that I don't know if his days are over. He's been there since 1977, but it's.
Oh, Ted, you
just-
fit right in.
I mean, that was ridiculous.
Ted is speaking the truth.
Hey, listen. It was the main stage. We're not at that level yet.
People come for fun, not for that.
So I was curious if this was Ryan's first fest, and what did you think, Ryan?
Well, I had a great time. It was. I went to a couple fests when I was really little. My mom and my uncle used to take me when it was in Secaucus. And then I stopped going for a while. I don't really know why. I was just, my mom was taking me. So, and then I kind of rediscovered it, I think, after COVID.
Okay, cool.
So this was my second at this location, and then I was there last year also at JFK.
Right.
And whatever that Sgt. Pepper piece on the what is that? Sgt.
Oh,
Pepper.
Blanket?
Is that a
big
quilt?
blanket? Yeah.
That's a blanket? Okay, cool. I love it.
I think I
That's
got
cool.
that at a fest years ago.
Nice.
Very cool.
Thanks.
Ryan, I have a question for you too. When you came home and you told your mom all about the day that you spent without her, what was her feedback?
She was really happy that I found people and had a great time because I was originally planning to go with a friend of mine, and he ended up getting stuck in Florida, and we were both really looking forward to going together, but he couldn't make it, so I was really happy to, Yeah, it was great.
Now,
Thanks for taking me in.
You're in.
You're
Yeah,
stuck with
that's
us.
great.
You're stuck with us now.
Luann,
Yes.
were you a Veteran Fest attendee, or you've been sporadic,
the
or
last time I went, I think Jerry from Jerry and the Pacemakers was a guest. It was either him or Harry Nielsen, whoever was last.
Oh wow, that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Now, you're going back to the Crown Plaza days in Secaucus then.
Yes, and I think it was better there. There was more room there.
Oh my God, there was more room there.
Yeah.
It was wide open. Ryan could walk there from Rutherford to Secaucus. He could basically just hop the highway and
pretty
get
much.
there.
I was
Yeah.
saying on Saturday, I don't know if it's just my memory of, when you're little, you think things are bigger than they are. But
Right.
Now, Secaucus was nice. It was spread out, and you could have all the bands, like 10 different individual bands playing all over the place going.
Right.
Here it's more cramped.
Russ had a
It's
couple
tight, yeah.
programs from 91 and 96, and just looking at the program and how how it was all put together back then compared to now, and then every year they put a picture of Mark and Carol and the family, and then just seeing the daughters as little kids in those pictures from 91 and 96, it was just freaking hilarious. But I mean, look, they had Denny Lane, Lawrence Juber. I mean, so they had all those people back then too. So
You
it
saw
was
Harry
really
Nilsson there,
interesting.
Luann? You saw
I
Harry
did.
Nilsson? He would drink with fans at the bar till 2 or 3 in the morning. He would.
I remember Mike McCartney showed up one time.
Once, and then
Once.
he was scolded by his older brother for going. Is what the
Really?
is what the legend is. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, the legend is he went there and his older brother said, "What the hell are you doing there?"
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Yeah, I would
we
like to
know
think of
from
that.
some of the things that you can't piss off Paul. He does apparently have a little bit of a temper.
Right, but I think listen. Let's be honest. If Paul did not really like the Beatle Fest thing, Paul could have that thing shut down in 2 seconds. I think
In half a second.
he's
yeah.
okay with it. I think he's okay with it, right? If he wasn't, it would have been gone
Right.
25 years ago.
Yeah, what do they
Right.
call
I
it?
just don't, I think he just doesn't want a direct connection to it.
No.
Right, and he'll never attend.
No.
Right. I think all the guests they had in the past that are now deceased, Louise Harrison and Harry
Right.
Nielsen, and I don't think he would have Jerry, and I don't think he would have allowed that. You know, like in his way.
No. No. But
But Lennon was a fan. John Lennon was a fan, and
Yeah.
May Pang went, and
that's the thing, because that's the thing that like I think Mark runs the fest off of. It's like, look, John Lennon endorsed this convention, so I'm
Right.
good. Like that's his that's his thing. He's like, John totally endorsed this. I'm running with
Right.
it, and that's
And
Right.
Andy,
you
was
can't-
it Chicago or TWA where May was there?
TWA. I think May was at. Or
I can't remember.
I think she was there at the yeah, I think she was.
May
Was
went
it
to-
I don't
last year
think
at
she was
TWA?
scheduled though, but she
Right.
he was
showed
probably
up.
She
promoting
showed
something.
up and she
Yes.
ended up on
Yeah,
the main
James.
stage, and she did some interviews on the main stage. Yeah.
She did. She did. But
She wasn't technically she wasn't a guest though, right? Like a speaker.
Right.
No, she just was there.
Right.
She just was there. So that what we've talked about over the years is like on other channels, other people. It's like these things can happen. Guests are dying off and whatever. But
Unfortunately.
the community remains, and people, like-minded fans, can all get together and enjoy and share in what we all love. It doesn't matter who the guests are. If it's an all-star guest or it's nobody, the community can remain together and get together at these things. Doesn't matter if we go to a panel or anything. The community can get together at these things and just share, and that doesn't matter who's on the bill at all.
And Andy and I were talking about this earlier, how one of our most favorite parts of the whole weekend was all of us Two Legs fans hanging out in that one section and just everybody having big group conversations, side conversations, one big group picture. That was one of the highlights because we all have, I mean, we were at a Beatles fest, right? But we all have a commonality that we adore Paul. It bonded us, and that was a big highlight of our whole weekend. And now we are bonded, guys, forever.
Oh
Indeed.
no.
I will say
Yeah, that
will
was
say-
Saturday night was definitely fantastic, and it was just no stress, no nothing. We were just able to chill. It was great. It was fantastic.
What it's supposed to be. Luann, go.
Lula.
I will say, I've been a fan since '78, and I have my girlfriend that got me into the Beatles. She lives in Wisconsin now, so we don't get to see each other that often. And I have nobody that likes the Beatles. My husband, as you can see behind me, is a Springsteen fan.
I saw the Bruce posters there.
So nobody when I took him to Liverpool, he enjoyed it. He enjoyed London. He enjoyed walking across Abbey Road. I have him, taking a film of himself going, I'm walking across Epping Abbey Road.
We talked about this. He went through the motions with you.
He's
Yeah.
like, I am with the Beatles with Springsteen. So
Right.
he kind of gets it, but he doesn't. When I said, do you want to come to the fest? He's like, I'm Beatled out. And that was 2 years ago that we went to London.
Oh boy.
I know a lot of people that my family loves the Beatles, but they don't want to. They won't sit down and read a book like these McCartney legacy books and different things. They're like, oh, I love the music. George is my favorite, and that's about the extent of it.
Right. After all these years,
Right.
I'm just happy that we did that. You guys did this because finally I have people.
And you will, whether it's on
Forever.
YouTube, whether it's on YouTube or at a fest or whatever. We're here to share in it, and that's why it's so great to connect this way. One person who I don't think is going to be able to join this call, who I want to show on a photo, okay, who was responsible for a lot of this, is our man Kyle Hand, and there he is with Adrian Sinclair, who did his first panel ever
Yes.
at this fest on the Generationals panel, and there he is with Adrian Sinclair. And they both did a fantastic job. I was supposed to be on that panel, and I said, you know what, I'm doing enough this weekend. Adrian wanted to do it, and I said, Adrian, you go on there. And then Ethan Alexanian was supposed to come to this fest, and he did not. So there was a vacancy. So I texted Susan Ryan, and I said, hey, look, we've got this great guy, Kyle Hand, who is young, who is knowledgeable, who's passionate. Let's throw him up there, and if you think it's okay. And she says, sure, send him. And he did a great job on that panel.
He certainly did.
What a
Great
nice
to hear.
what a nice guy Kyle is. I had some really
Yes.
good conversations with him. Great. And to
Same
see the
here.
next generation take control of the ship.
Well, that's just it because he's what, Andy, 26?
Mm-hmm.
He has amazing knowledge and he's only going to learn and grow and know more, and he can't wait to share everything he knows now with everybody. It's just going to expand.
Right.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
He's asking questions too, so he's like he wants to know more.
True.
Like
Yeah.
how
He's
was it
always-
when you started off as a McCartney or
Yes.
Beatles fan? That's
Yeah.
how, it was great.
Yeah,
And-
he's always willing to learn more.
And I
Correct.
really was struck by Russ, who he's like, look, he goes, here's a kid. He don't have any of these books. He's never read any of this stuff. So to Kyle, that's like opening up like the Ark from
Right.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. Let me
like,
see what's in there.
Right.
You know?
It's like the hand-me-down stuff, It's like, here, I'm done with this. Now give it to the younger,
Right.
your younger cousin, your younger brother, or whatever like that, and here you go. Now there's a whole new world for him, to discover.
Right, and that's really what it's all about. And whether it's young or old, it doesn't matter.
Right.
That's the
It
beautiful
doesn't
thing.
matter, but in addition to Kyle, we got this guy right here, Ryan, who is
Yes.
on kind of the same page, who has this contagious passion, and not only is sharing your passion, Ryan, with everybody else, you're like, tell me everything I can ever know about Paul McCartney, about the Beatles. I love that about you.
Yeah.
It
Awesome.
becomes a lifelong obsession, which is great.
Yes. So next year, what do we guys think about? Well, Chicago, and then what about
I'm
next
in.
year? Is this going to be a
I
possibility?
get Chicago might be tough
guys?
for. I get Chicago might be
some
tough for the
people,
East
yeah.
Coaster, but I
Right.
think for sure, if and when the fest is announced, I think we'll do
Right.
this again. But maybe we can make it, more a couple days and grow it.
I have a daughter that lives in Chicago.
You're
James
in.
is in.
I would be in because my niece runs Lowe's Hotels there. She works for them. But
Okay.
no, I'll
Luann
be at
is
the beach.
in.
No, I'll be at the beach that week.
Ah, okay.
Ah.
Ted, how about you?
Now I have an engagement. I have to be in New York City that weekend, so I can't.
All right.
All right.
Ryan.
Ryan?
I've never been to the Chicago Fest before, so maybe my vacation days are pretty tight, but I'll try to make it.
Okay.
All right. Keep it open.
Keep it
us
open.
posted.
Right.
All right. Well, guys,
All
this
right.
was a wonderful recap of the Two Legs fam. I mean, the first time we were really able to get together with everybody. I think not everybody was on the call. That could be, but most of you all were here. And I just, on behalf of Two Legs and Tom, I want to thank you all for making the commitment to travel and, A, go to the fest, and B, hang with us, support the show, support everything that we do. I mean, we can't do that without and you guys support us. You do.
Right.
Your Patreons, everything that we do, it's, we're not doing it without you. So on behalf of Tom and the show,
Yes.
thank you guys. Really.
Great show.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. So,
Thank you, too, for putting out such great content and sharing your knowledge. We love you guys.
Thank you, Patty.
that's going to wrap the fest recap between me and Tom and the two. He's dubbed you guys the two-leg scruffs. There's apple scruffs, and then he called you the two-leg scruffs. If you like that term, I'll go with it. If you don't like it, we'll come up with another name.
That's fine with me.
Okay. So I loved it. It was fantastic. And we will be doing this again and again and again and again, to quote a Wings song. And I can't wait. And it's been a blast. So on behalf of everybody here on Two Legs, the Two Legs fam, this has been Andy Nichols for the 2025 New York/New Jersey Fest recap. And we'll see you next week. Have a great day and a beautiful night.
All right. Good night.
Bye-bye.
See you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.